Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we had discussed regarding the condensation polymerization. In that, already we had discussed nylon. We had discussed, that is polyamides. We had discussed polyesters. We had discussed, and even we had discussed regarding the phenol formaldehyde polymers. Coming to this phenol formaldehyde polymers, what are the best examples? Means that is Novolac and Bakelite are the best example. Already we know the difference between the Novolac and Bakelite here. If we take the Novolac is the best example for the linear polymer. Coming to the Bakelite, it is a cross-linked polymer. That is the main difference between the Novolac and Bakelite here. Both are example for the phenol formaldehyde polymer. One more example is the last example. What is that example? Means for condensation polymers means that is melamine formaldehyde polymer. Today we will discuss regarding that one, right? Okay. Melamine formaldehyde polymer. Melamine formaldehyde polymer. Now, how we are going to synthesize such type of melamine formaldehyde polymer? Means by condensation polymerization. Okay, already we mean condensation polymerization. Okay, now we are taking the different types of the monomeric units here. Whenever the reaction is carried out in between these two things, okay, at that time, so here means between melamine and formaldehyde, okay, if the reaction is carried out, at that time this polymer is formed. Okay, now what are the monomeric units we are taking for the preparation of this melamine? Means I will write that monomeric units here. Okay. Now, numbering is important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Right. Now this one is melamine or melamine. This is the structure of melamine, or it is also called as two, 4, 6. Means at second position, fourth position, sixth position, we observe the presence of amino group. That's why 2, 4, 6 triamino. Now here nitrogen are present, are occupying the which position? Means first position, third position, and fifth position. So that's why it is called as 2, 4, 6 triamino. 1, 3, 5 triazine. 1, 3, 5. Why it is called as tri? Means because how many nitrogens are there? 1, 2, and 3. That's why it is called as tri and arginine. 2, 4, 6 triamino. 2, 4, 6 triamino. 1, 3, 5 tri arginine we are taking. Okay, simply just you remember this one, melamine Okay, now it is going to react with the which one means formaldehyde. Okay, it is going to react with the formaldehyde. Okay, whenever the reaction is carried out in between the this 2,4,6 triamino 1,3,5 triazine, that is melamine and formaldehyde. Okay, so if it is heated, okay, at that time, so actually, so first step here we observe the formation of an intermediate here. Okay, after that intermediate is undergoing the polymerization, and finally we observe the formation of melamine formaldehyde polymer is formed here. Okay, what is the intermediate? Resin intermediate is formed here. What is that resin intermediate means? I will write that intermediate one here, that is okay. Now such type of intermediate is formed here, that is resin intermediate is formed here. Okay, so intermediate is formed during the course of the reaction here. Now this is our polymerization, this is our polymerization. So finally we observe the formation of the polymer here. What is the name of that polymer means melamine formaldehyde polymer. Why it is called as melamine formaldehyde polymer means because the reaction is carried out in between the melamine and the formaldehyde. So due to that reason only, now here we observe the formation of the polymer. Okay, it means at that time what happens, now the length of the chain is going to increase in this direction. Okay, even here in this direction and also in this direction. Okay, so that's why now finally, so here now the length of the chain is increasing in this direction, even in this direction and here in this direction. Okay, it means, okay, now here now, what is the name of this polymer means melamine formaldehyde polymer. Melamine formaldehyde polymer is formed. Okay, this is regarding how to prepare this melamine formaldehyde polymer. Okay, so whenever the monomer is, that is melamine, okay, reacting with the formaldehyde, so upon heating, if we supply the heat, okay, at that time, so during the course of the reaction, in the first step we observe the formation of the resin intermediate. Now whatever the resin intermediate that is formed during the course of the reaction, now it undergoes the polymerization, and finally we observe the formation of the polymer. That polymer is called as melamine formaldehyde polymer. Okay, right. So this is regarding the preparation of melamine formaldehyde polymer. Okay, right. Next, use. So where we are using this melamine formaldehyde polymers means they are mainly used in the manufacture of unbreakable crockery. Unbreakable crockery. Unbreakable crockery means nothing but if you take the cups and plates, okay, plastic cups and plates are there now that are made up of which one means melamine formaldehyde, that is cups, okay, and plastic plates, okay. If you take that plastic, so that is unbreakable crockery, okay. In that, so we are using the which type of polymer means that is melamine formaldehyde polymer, okay, right. So this is regarding the melamine formaldehyde polymer, and now this is the best example for the condensation polymers, okay, right. Next, coming to the next topic, what is the next topic means copolymerization. What is the next topic? Copolymerization. Already we know what is the meaning of copolymerization. Copolymerization means it is a one type of polymerization in which we are taking different types of the monomeric units. We are taking the different types of the monomeric units. Sir, what happens, sir, if we take the same type of the monomeric units means at that time such type of polymerization is called as homopolymerization, okay. Now here we are taking the different types of the monomeric units here, so that's why this polymerization is called as, okay, so copolymerization, okay. In that copolymerization, okay, we observe the chain growth polymerization. Even we are also going to observe the step growth polymerization also, okay. It may be the chain growth polymerization or it may be the step growth polymerization, whatever it may be. If we take different types of the monomeric units, if we take the different types of the monomeric units, okay, then such type of polymerization is called as copolymerization. Best example for that copolymerization means already we know that is Buna S. Buna S and Buna N are the best examples for the copolymerization, okay. Now we will discuss those things, right, okay. So what is the meaning of copolymerization? Copolymerization means, so whenever we are taking the different types of the monomeric units, okay, at that time, okay, so here we observe the formation of the polymers are observed. That polymers are called as copolymers, okay, right. Where this topic is important, na? Copolymerization, okay. Copolymerization means it is a one type of polymerization where we are taking the different types of the monomeric units, okay. Let us take one example for explaining this copolymerization. That is, what is that examples means? I will write here examples for this copolymerization means Buna S and Buna N. Buna S and Buna N are the best examples for the copolymers, okay. Now in this class we will discuss regarding the Buna S. Coming to this Buna S, how we are going to prepare this Buna S means. Now here first I will write some points here, okay. What are the points means here? So first one, that is Bu stands for, okay, Bu stands for 1,3 butadiene. What is the meaning of Bu? Bu stands for 1,3 butadiene, okay, right. Next, coming to the Na. Na means actually natrium, okay. Now in that, okay, Na means nothing but, so we can write sodium. What is the symbol of sodium? That is Na. Now in the place of that Na, now we are writing this one, okay, right. Next, what is the S? S stands for, S stands for styrene. S stands for styrene, okay. So that's why, so for the preparation of this Buna S polymer, okay, so what are the monomeric units? So here we are taking means that is one is 1,3-butadiene and next one is styrene we are taking. Whenever the reaction is carried out in between these two things, okay, at that time whatever the polymer that is formed, that polymer is called as Buna S. Okay, now this is the, now tell me, now if you take this Buna S and Buna M, my question is whether they are example for the addition polymers or condensation polymers. Now they are the example for addition polymers. Why they are example for addition polymers? Because whatever the monomeric units we have taken, in that monomeric units we observe the presence of the double bonds. We observe the presence of the double bonds. Already we know. Okay. Addition polymerization is mainly observed in which type of monomers? Means the monomers which are having the multiple bonds. So due to that reason only, now here, so whatever the monomeric units here we have taken, both are having the double bonds here. So due to that reason only, they undergo which type of polymerization is addition polymerization. Let it be whatever it may be. Now they are the example for the copolymerization. Why they are the example for the copolymerization is because here we are taking the different types of the monomeric species. Okay, right. Now coming to the first one, that is 1,3-butadiene. Buta means already known. But means how many carbons are there? 4 carbons are there. I'll write that 4 carbons here. 4 carbons are there. Now here 1,3-butadiene. E means it indicates the double bonds here. Now the double bonds are occupying the which position? They are occupying the first position and third position here. So that's why first for our convenience I will write like this. I will give you the numbering here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, right. Now at first position double bond is there. Okay, first position double bond is there, and at third position double bond is there. Remaining thing, so you have to represent the hydrogens here. Okay, now 2 bonds are there, remaining 2 bonds are there, that's why H2 I will write. 3 bonds are there, so that's why here I will write the 1 H here. Now here also even 3 bonds are there, that's why here also I will write 1 hydrogen. Remaining 2 bonds are there, it means. Okay, now this is the formula or structure of the which one means 1,3-butadiene. Now wherever this 1,3-butadiene, okay, now it is reacting with the styrene. What is the formula of styrene? That is CH2 double bond CH C6H5. Okay, now this is the structure of styrene. Okay, so at that time what happens, you know, whenever the reaction is carried out in between the 1,3-butadiene and styrene, at that time okay, now we observe the formation of the polymer. What is that polymer means? From here I will start now. Okay, that is CH2 is there. Next after this one CH is there. CH double bond is coming there. Okay, next CH2 is there. Next one more CH2 is there. Okay, and CH is there, and C6H5. Now here, so the length of the chain is increasing in this direction, even in this direction also. Okay, so that's why. Okay, now here we observe the formation of the polymer here. What is that polymer means? It is Buna S. Why it is called as Buna S here? Because the reaction is carried out in between the 1,3-butadiene and styrene. So that's why whenever the reaction is carried out in between this 1,3-butadiene and styrene, whatever the polymer that is formed, that is called as Buna S. Now here already we know. This Bu stands for 1,3-butadiene, Na stands for sodium, and S stands for styrene. Okay, this is the meaning of Buna S. Okay, so this is regarding the how to prepare the Buna S. Next, coming to the uses now here. What are the important uses of this Buna S means? If you take this Buna S, actually, so it is the example for the copolymerization. So that's why now here, if you take that Buna S, Okay, means this is the example for the copolymers. Now these copolymers are exhibiting, okay, some different properties. Okay, so they are exhibiting some different properties, are exhibiting the different types of the properties whenever they are compared with the homopolymers. Sir, why they are exhibiting some different properties when compared to that of the homopolymers? Means because here we are taking the different types of the monomeric units now. That's why they are going to exhibit some different properties here. Okay, what are the means? First, if you take this that is Buna S here. Now first one I will write some points here. Okay, now this Buna S is okay, very tough polymer, and also it is used as substituent for natural rubber. It means now here we are adding some small quantity of this Buna S to the natural rubber. At that time what happens, now they are going to increase the strength of that natural rubber. So that's why mostly even this Buna S is also used as a substituent for the natural rubber. Okay, next, coming to the next point, uses here. Mostly, so where we are using this Buna S means they are used for the manufacture in tyres, automobiles. That is, so in the manufacture of tyres, auto tyres. Next one is floor tiles. They are also used in the manufacture of floor tiles. Okay, even they are also used in footwear. Okay, even they are also used in the manufacture of footwear components. Even they are also used in cable insulation. Okay, if you take that cable mark, inside we observe the presence of a wire here. Now that is surrounded by some plastic here. That cable insulation means that plastic one, that is made up of which one means it is Buna S. Okay, right. So these are the important uses of this Buna S. Okay, right. This is regarding the copolymerization. Okay, so copolymerization means, so whenever the reaction is carried out in between the different types of the monomeric species, at that time, okay, such type of polymerization is called as copolymerization. Best examples for this copolymers means Buna S and Buna N. Okay, coming to the Buna N. So Bun stands for the 1,3-butadiene, Na stands for sodium, and N means acrylonitrile. We will discuss that one also. Okay, now these are the best examples for the which one means copolymers. Okay, coming to the Buna S here. Buna S means, now you know, Bu stands for 1,3-butadiene, Na stands for sodium, S stands for styrene. Whenever the reaction is carried out in between the 1,3-butadiene and styrene, okay, at that time polymers are formed. That polymers are called as Buna S polymers. Now, if you take this Buna S polymers, means if these copolymers are compared with the homopolymers, now they are exhibiting some different properties when compared to that of the homopolymers. Okay, what are the means? The first one, that is Buna S is very tough, and it is used as a substituent for the natural rubber. Even they are also used in auto tyres, in the manufacture of auto tyres. Even they are also used in the floor tiles. Even they are also used as a footwear components also. Even they are also used in cable insulation. Okay, right. So this is regarding the copolymerization. Okay, na? Right. Next, coming to the next topic one. What is the next topic means? That is the next topic is rubber. Natural rubber. Okay, right. This is the next topic, natural rubber here. Now, first I will tell you some points here. If you take this natural rubber, okay, now this natural rubber is exhibiting some elastic properties. Okay, rubber is exhibiting some elastic properties here. So, due to that reason only, these natural rubbers are also called as, they are also known as elastomers. They are also called as elastomers. Why they are called as elastomers? Because they are exhibiting the elastic properties here. So due to that reason only, they are also called as elastomers. Okay, I will write the first point. Natural rubbers, they are also known as elastomers. They are also known as elastomers. Why they are called as elastomers means because they are exhibiting elastic properties. They are exhibiting the elastic properties. Reason you have to remember. So why these rubber, natural rubbers are exhibiting this elastic properties means because, okay, here we observe which type of forces of attraction means here we observe the van der Waals forces of attraction. Due to the presence of a weak intermolecular forces of attractions, that is van der Waals forces of attractions, okay, mostly they are exhibiting elastic properties. So that's why they are also known as elastomers. Okay, I'll write that reason. They are exhibiting the elastic properties. What is the reason for that one? Due to weak intermolecular forces. What are that forces means? Van der Waals forces. So due to this van der Waals forces only, okay, due to the presence of such type of weak intermolecular forces, what are they? Van der Waals forces. Mostly they are exhibiting the elastic properties. It means mostly they are stretchable. Stretchable means nothing but if we apply some force here, okay, at that time what happens, now we observe some changes here. Okay, so once we remove that force, at that time, okay, they regain their original state here. Okay, so that type of property is called as stretchable property. Now they are exhibiting that stretchable property here. They are stretchable in nature. What is the reason for that one means due to this weak van der Waals forces of attraction. Okay, right. Next point. Mostly they are write that point. They are stretchable. They are stretchable. Why they are stretchable means already we know that reason. Okay, next point. Now if you take this one, if you take that natural rubber, okay, now it is manufactured or it is coming from, okay, latex here, that is rubber latex. Okay, from this rubber latex only, so we are preparing this natural rubber here. Now if you take that natural rubber means that rubber latex, okay, it is a colloidal dispersion. Okay, rubber latex is a colloidal dispersion, okay, in which means colloidal dispersion means that is rubber in water. Now this mixture is called as colloidal dispersion. So this is the point you have to remember. Okay, so this rubber is mainly manufactured from the rubber latex. If you take that rubber latex, it is a colloidal dispersion of which one means that is rubber in water. Now in case, next one more point I will tell you. if you take this natural rubber, okay, if you take that natural rubber, so what is the monomer unit, okay, that is involved for the formation of such type of polymer, okay? What is that monomer means? I'll write that monomer here. Monomer, what is that monomer means? Isoprene, isoprene unit, okay? Now it is acting as a monomer, okay? Now what is the exact name of that isoprene unit means? Now here I write now, okay, this is the isoprene unit one. How many carbons are there? 5 carbons are there, okay? Next one, now what is the name of this compound means? I write here 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, okay? 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, okay? Now this is the monomeric unit for the preparation of the polymer. That polymer means nothing but natural rubber. What is the monomeric unit here we are taking means isoprene. What is the exact name means 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, okay? Now this is our polymerization, okay? This is our polymerization. One second, this is our polymerization, okay? Now here we observe the formation of the natural rubber. How that natural rubber is formed means like this one. Now this double bond is there, now it will comes here and here, okay? It means I'll write here, that is CH2 is there, CH3 is there. Now double bond is formed here, remaining thing CH2. See there, the length of the chain is increasing in this direction and the length of the chain is increasing in this direction, okay? Now N here, okay? Now this is called as natural rubber. This is called as natural rubber, okay? How this natural rubber is prepared? What is the monomer that we have taken here? It is 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene we have taken, okay? Or it is also called as isoprene. Now this is the monomeric unit that is used for the preparation of the natural rubber. Now this is our polymerization, okay? Now we observe the formation of the polymer here. That polymer is called as natural rubber, okay? What is the monomeric unit that is used for the preparation of natural rubber? Then the answer is isoprene unit, or it is also known as 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, okay? This is our polymerization. How that mechanism is involved means the double bonds are there, the double bonds are shifted here, okay? So by shift of the double bonds only, now we observe the formation of the polymer. That polymer is called as natural rubber, okay? Right. One more point I will tell you, that is if you take that natural rubber now, okay? Now here it is a cis polymer. It is a cis polymer here, okay? So we will discuss in the next class now. Natural rubber is the example for the which type of polymer means cis polymer here. We will discuss in the next class now, okay? Right, let it be. Now in this class we have discussed regarding the which one, that is condensation polymerization. Last example we have discussed, that is melamine, formaldehyde polymer we have discussed. Even we have discussed regarding the copolymerization, and last topic is natural rubber here. Natural rubber is also called as elastomers. Why they are called as elastomers means because they are exhibiting the elastic properties here. They are exhibiting the elastic properties. Why they are exhibiting the elastic properties here? Due to the presence of weak intermolecular forces here. What are they? Van der Waals forces. So due to that Van der Waals forces only, okay, mostly they are coiled, means they are stretchable here. Already we know what is the meaning of that stretchable nature. Next, if you take that rubber, natural rubber, it is manufactured or it is coming from which one means rubber latex here, okay? Now if you take that rubber latex, so this it is a colloidal dispersion medium. Colloidal dispersion medium means in that rubber in water is that medium is called as colloidal dispersion medium. Rubber latex is a colloidal dispersion medium. Okay, right? Like solution. Solution means it is a mixture of solute and solvent. Like that, if you take this colloidal solution also, it is a mixture of dispersed phase and a dispersion medium. Let it be. We'll discuss later in solutions. We will discuss that one. Just you remember, if you take that rubber latex, it is a colloidal dispersion medium. Okay, means rubber in water. Just you remember this one, rubber in water. Next, for natural rubber, for the preparation of natural rubber, what is the monomer we are taking here means isoprene unit we are taking. Isoprene means 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. This is our polymerization. So now here we observe the formation of the which one means natural rubber is observed. Okay, mostly if you take this natural rubber means this latex, it is extracted from the rubber trees here. Okay, mainly these rubber plants, they are found in, mostly they are found in which states means I will write that states here, that is they are found in India. Okay, even they are also found in Sri Lanka. Okay, Sri Lanka. Even they are also found in South America. Okay, they are found in Malaysia. Even they are also found in Indonesia. Means this rubber trees are there. Mostly they are found in India, Sri Lanka, South America, Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay, right. So this is regarding the natural rubber. Okay, in the next class we are going to discuss regarding the synthetic rubber here. How we are going to prepare this synthetic rubber. So nowadays we are using the synthetic rubber here in the place of that natural rubber. What are the reason for that one? Okay, all those things can be studied in the next class. Okay, then tomorrow I will continue them. Right? Thank you, ma'am.